Please be seated. Chancellor, University Council, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, senior officers, academic and professional staff, graduands, families and friends. It is with pleasure that I welcome you to Victoria University's graduation ceremony for the College of Health and Biomedicine. My name is Susan Young and I am the Dean of Students at Victoria University and your MC today. On behalf of my fellow university staff, I extend a warm welcome and congratulate all graduands on your achievements today. As a mark of respect to Australia's Indigenous people, we acknowledge the ancestors, elders and families of the Burrong and Woiwurrung of the Kulin, who are the traditional owners of university land. As we share our own knowledge practices within the university, may we pay respect to the deep knowledge embedded within the Aboriginal community and their ownership of country. We acknowledge that the land on which we meet is a place of age-old ceremonies of celebration, initiation and renewal, and that the Kulin people's living culture has a unique role in the life of this region. Now, before we undertake the conferral of awards, I would like to invite Professor Ruth Salem to present today's occasional address. Ruth is the Chief Executive Officer for Barwon Health and has over 25 years' experience working in health as an academic, pathologist, researcher and health manager. After graduating in medicine, she completed her MD in the Department of Pathology and Immunology at Monash University, which was followed by a period of research at Hammersmith Hospital, London. Ruth then went on to specialise in surgical pathology and completed an MBA, turning to hospital and pathology management. Ruth's strong background in both public and private health has given her a vast depth of experience working with all levels of government. Now, would you all please welcome Professor Ruth Salem.
Thank you very much. Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, graduates, family, friends, it is truly an honour to be here today. It really gives me great pleasure to see so many of our new graduates who have all had the privilege to be graduates of Victoria University, a university in the ranking of top 2% of world universities. When I was asked to present the speech today, I pondered on what I will present. I wanted to know for myself what will be of interest to the graduates, what will be of interest to the families that are present here. I decided to make it a speech that wasn't filled with facts, but rather a presentation of my own meandering experience and advice based on this experience. For me, my parents grew up during the concentration camps in World War II, and one of the things that they installed in me is what you learn, no one can take away from you. And you here have had an amazing education. No one can take away what you have learned. I came here as a migrant. We arrived in Australia as migrants in 1970. I was a little weird kid, you know, I wore funny clothes, I ate funny foods. My sandwiches had paprikas and salami. Everyone else has Vegemite sandwiches. You know, I had a funny accent. My parents had funny accents. And I have to say, I couldn't even ride a bike. That was another thing. You know, everybody could ride a bike. I could not even ride a bike. I felt so different and I really hated who I was. I was embarrassed, I was ashamed of myself, and I was ashamed of my parents. I was, however, very fortunate to have a most amazing English as a second language teacher. And what she did was she worked with me, and some of you can probably still hear a little bit of an accent, but she worked with me, she worked with my English, and she taught me to believe in myself and to like myself and to like who I was. So one of the first lessons that I can say to you is learn to like yourself, learn to love yourself. And I say to each and every one of you, enjoy the power and the beauty of your youth. You are young, you are fabulous, and you're not as fat as you imagine. You know, We all think we are fatter than we really are. In 20 years, when you look back on your photos, you will say, my God, I looked so great. So enjoy your youth. After leaving my primary school, I entered a small public secondary school. I remember going to the careers teacher to find out what I needed to do to get into medicine. It was something that I always wanted to do. I used to carry a little box with the first aid kit, and I knew from very young that's what I wanted to do. So I went to the careers teacher and said, what do I need to do to get into medicine? I've heard it's hard. And what he did was he laughed at me and he said, pick something else, you'll never get there. And that was my second lesson in life. I knew then that I was only responsible for my future. It was my responsibility. You need to take action. You have a choice. You can either be a passive victim of circumstance or you can be the hero of your own dream. I worked hard and I did get into medicine. I was the first and only student from my little high school to get into medicine. That little high school's been closed since. They used to bring me back to talk to the students and say, you can be whatever you want to be. In my first year of medicine, I didn't do well. I failed the subject and I feared that I would do a supplementary exam. You know what it's like, that fear that you're going to be coming back for subs, and worse still, that you might fail that year. And there came my third lesson in life. It's impossible to live without failing at something. We all fail. You will fail along the journey of life, whether it be an exam, marriage, love, driving licence, job. It is important not to berate yourself. One of my professors once told me, Ruth, life's a roller coaster. Just hold on. There's going to be the ups and there's going to be the downs. Just hold on. I did get through first year, and after that it was plain sailing. After finishing final year medicine, I was offered a position as an intern at Alfred Hospital, and I loved my time there. I still remember my first day. I was petrified. I thought, oh my God, I don't know anything. And so I learned another lesson. Each time you advance, you have to leave your comfort zone, and all of you here will leave your comfort zone. You have to work hard, take risk. You will not always know what you are doing, but your discovery will be wonderful. What you discover will be yourself. When I was at the Alfred, I loved my job. I thought I would specialise in surgery. However, I found myself pregnant. My husband was delighted, but I have to admit, I was not so sure I was ready. My plans were totally thrown in the air. And so came another lesson of life. Life is improvisation. You have no idea what's going to happen next, and you're mostly just making things up as you go along. And that's so true for everything that we do. You can't plan it. My husband taught me to live in the sweet spot, to be present, to enjoy the moment. He said, just enjoy the kids, enjoy it. Children grow up and leave home, so enjoy them while you can. My children have left home, but we had a wonderful time when they were growing up. And we still have a wonderful time when they come back home on Fridays, and they come back most Fridays for dinner. So live life to the fullest. The race is long. Maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't, maybe you'll have children, maybe you won't, but life will take you. There is a small element of chance there as well, and you just have to take those chances. During my pregnancy, I felt I needed a sit-down job, and that's when I got into academia. I took a tutor job at Monash University, and then I got hooked on academia. I then pursued research. It was never on my chart that that's what I would do, and I finished a Doctor of Medicine. That research then took me onto a postdoc at the Hammersmith Hospital in London, and I did well. I did really well. Following my research, I started my specialisation in pathology. I thought I was just awesome. I passed my exam first time with flying colours. I knew that many others had failed. I felt invincible. And then I failed my exit exam. I failed my second part. I was devastated. It was one of the lowest lows that I ever experienced because it had been a long time since I failed, and something I had forgotten what it was like. And there came another lesson. Success leads to the greatest failure, which is arrogance and pride. I had become arrogant. I was so used to succeeding. I was so used to having everything work for me. And failure can be one of the greatest successes, which is humility and learning. What I learned through that failure is to have the humility to understand other people's failures. And what I did subsequently to that failure is to make sure that when I heard of any of the other candidates in the future, I did pass the following year, when I heard of it that anyone had failed, I'd ring them up and I would say the words that one of my mentors, Professor Abe Dorovich, said to me when I failed. He said, "I'm sure you were close. You'll be fine next year." Those few words meant so much to me. And so I made sure that in the future I was able to recall those words for others and be there for them when they failed. Because as I said before, we all fail sometimes. From intern, HMO, I went on to academia. From academia, I went on to become a pathologist. From a pathologist, I went on to become a health manager. I did an MBA along the way, and we were just reflecting before we entered in this room how much I enjoyed economics. No, I never thought there were some subjects that I had never expected to do as a medical graduate, and I did economics and it was fabulous. I became the inaugural Executive Director of South Australian Pathology in 2008, which was bringing together 17 health services under one banner. I became the National Health Director for KPMG in 2012, and most recently I became the CEO of Barwon Health in 2017. Along the way I raised 2 boys, but that was only with the help of my husband, my parents and my family. I would like to encourage you to spend time with your family. The people here are the people who truly love you. My dad died in 1999 and I still miss him. Make sure you have time with your families. As I said, I did not plan my career, or for that matter, my life. I just did stuff. I did not know where it's going to lead. I just did what I enjoyed. I didn't chase the money. I didn't chase the fortunes. I chased the career and the time, the things that really mattered at that time. By all accounts, I consider myself lucky. But as I say to you, you get to make your own luck. 80% of success in your career will come from showing up. The world is run by those who show up, not those who wait to be asked. So chase your dreams, never stop trying, never stop learning, live life to the fullest and give it nothing but your best. Congratulations on graduating.
Thank you, Ruth, for sharing your very inspiring story. Thank you very much. I would now like to invite Chancellor Mr. George Pappas to speak. The Chancellor's role is to chair the Council and to guide the strategic direction of the University. Thank you, Chancellor.
Thank you, Susan. Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, senior officers, academic and professional staff, graduands, families and friends, welcome to all of you. But a special welcome to those who are graduating today, because today is a day that we celebrate your success. We celebrate because you've taken the opportunity that Victoria University has offered and you've achieved success. And in doing this, you've demonstrated a capacity to set goals, to work hard to achieve them. You've shown persistence and determination, and I have no doubt that most of you have learnt the art of juggling priorities. Many of you have overcome challenges in order to complete your studies. And these are not qualities or just qualities that have enabled you to gain your well-earned qualification. They're qualities that will assist you as you build your careers. Your success in getting here today is one of many successes that you will enjoy in life. So be proud of what you've achieved and know that your parents, families, friends and all the staff who've been a part of your time with us are equally delighted with your success. You're graduating from a university that is highly regarded, not just nationally, but internationally. As Professor Salem has said, Victoria University is ranked in the top 2% of universities worldwide. We've also been ranked in the top 60 of the universities, the hundreds of universities around the world that are less than 50 years old. And we're in the top 60 of all of the universities in the Asia-Pacific region. And all of these rankings are from the prestigious and authoritative Times Higher Education World Survey of Universities. The success of our university is also your success. It gives prestige to your qualification, and you can proudly claim that you're a graduate of one of the world's best universities. You can say that you're a graduate of a modern university that has done its best to equip you to meet the needs of our 21st century community. We are investing in new and innovative ways to create the best student experience possible. And I'd like to tell you about a couple of our initiatives that are leading the way in the university sector. Our new first-year model, which we will introduce next year, is the first of its kind in Australia. It's one of the most significant innovations in higher education, not only in this country, but internationally. We're going to have small classes of 40 students, and these will replace the traditional large lecture. Courses will be taught in single, sequential 4-week blocks. Face-to-face contact between teachers and students will increase significantly. And the 21st century skills that are demanded by employers, critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration in teams, and communications abilities will be embedded in all of our courses. And of course, we're also innovators when we established the Hangar, which is the centrepiece of our efforts to develop our students' entrepreneurial skills. And the Hangar continues to grow. From one entrepreneur in residence, we now have 3. The Hangar is there for all students and alumni of the university. And it also serves as a source of advice to a growing number of businesses in the west of Melbourne. These and other innovations continue our tradition of preparing students for the real world of work. And as our reputation builds because of these initiatives, the value of your qualification will grow. We're not an ivory tower university, but one that is open and accessible to all. We want to be a university without boundaries. And our many partnerships with industry and community are one way of achieving this aspiration. These partnerships provide countless opportunities for our students: placements and work-integrated learning, research projects, and pathways to future employment. We also care deeply about the health and the prosperity of our community, particularly in the west of Melbourne. The Brimbank initiative is one example of a concerted effort to improve the well-being and the health of a local community. The West of Melbourne Economic Development Alliance, led by Victoria University and chaired by the Honourable Steve Bracks, former Premier of Victoria, to whom we awarded an honorary doctorate earlier this week. The West of Melbourne Economic Development Alliance is developing strategies, economic strategies, to increase investment and employment in this rapidly growing region of our city of Melbourne. Today, we're graduating students from the College of Health and Biomedicine, and I'd like to tell you some of the impressions that I have about your college. The College of Health and Biomedicine, in my view, supports its students with technology-enhanced learning and through its strong partnerships with the healthcare industry. During your study, you've benefited from state-of-the-art simulation laboratories with interactive mannequin technology, high-tech nursing laboratories designed to emulate a hospital environment, dedicated student-run clinics for nutrition, osteopathy, dermal therapies, and purpose-built research and training facilities. I regard health as a major area of strength for Victoria University, not only because of the quality of teaching that we provide for you, but because of the impact that it has, not only on the west of Melbourne community, but also nationally. And I'm reminded of this almost weekly. For example, quite recently, I was listening to the radio, and on came Mr. Tony Walker. Now, some of you may have heard the name. He's the Chief Executive of Ambulance Victoria. He also happens to be a graduate of Victoria University. And one of the things that Tony talks about quite frequently is the fact that Victoria University was the first to introduce university degrees into the training of paramedics. And the result of that has been quite significant because it's improved health outcomes significantly. For example, it has reduced the number of deaths from people who have cardiac arrests, the number of deaths that did occur between waiting for the ambulance to arrive and taking those patients to hospital. And that's because trained paramedics now attend to those cardiac incidents. I'm sure you're also aware that we're going to be a major contributor to the redevelopment and the extension of the Sunshine Hospital. We're going to co-locate our senior nursing and midwifery training facility with this extension to the Sunshine Hospital. And of course, co-location means a lot of things. It means that the practical and clinical experience that you will get will be so much more relevant when you're located next to a major hospital. Quite recently, the Australian Health Policy Collaboration had a presentation at the National Press Club in Canberra, where it launched the 2017 version of its health tracker. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the health tracker, but what it does is it tracks the incidence of chronic disease in every municipality in Australia. It identifies those areas that have the highest incidence of a variety of chronic diseases and helps to make sure that policy initiatives and resources are directed to those areas of greatest need. And that's an initiative that was developed by Victoria University. I attended a presentation recently by Professor Vasso Apostolopoulos. I'm probably one of the few people at Victoria University who can pronounce her surname because we share the same ethnic origin. Vasso talked about her research in developing vaccines for the treatment of cancer. She's already developed a couple that are in production and on the market, and she's working on a few others, in addition to a vaccine for multiple sclerosis and a vaccine for the treatment of diabetes. I mean, these are world-leading research impacts that have an impact on health of our community at large that are coming from Victoria University. Some of you may read the Herald Sun. Occasionally I look at the back pages of the Herald Sun to see what my football team is doing, or rumoured to be doing. But in the front pages of the Herald Sun, a couple of weeks ago, there was a piece about the proposed location of the new Footscray Hospital. And it quoted former Premier Steve Bracks as saying that the ideal location for this new hospital should be on the campus of Victoria University at Footscray Park. And of course, the Herald Sun, being the Herald Sun, assumed that government had already made that decision. That, of course, if it happens, and we are one of 3 preferred sites for this new hospital, will be a huge boost to the west of Melbourne in terms of new investment in advanced hospital technologies, but also a significant boost to Victoria University. So you can see that your college, as part of Victoria University, is making a major contribution to our community. And today, as you graduate and leave us to embark on your career, you should also consider how you might use the skills that you've acquired to strengthen the communities from which you've come, or the new communities that you're destined to become part of. Today, over 270 of you will graduate. That's a lot of hands for me to shake, but I enjoy every minute of it. I encourage you to remain connected to the VU community as a member of the Alumni Association so that you can continue to build your personal and professional networks. And I have no doubt that you will be wonderful ambassadors for Victoria University, and I congratulate you again. And I have a special message for the family and friends who are with us today. My message is this: today's a celebration. Yes, we do respect the centuries-old tradition of these graduation ceremonies. That's why we wear these fancy uniforms and come in via a procession. And it is an important occasion, but we want you to celebrate. And celebrate means you clap as loudly as possible. You're also allowed to cheer when every student comes up on stage to receive their degrees. We've had some very enthusiastic celebrations this week, really enthusiastic. There's a bit of a challenge for you to emulate what we've experienced so far. So I encourage all of you to celebrate as loudly as possible. And you'll get your chance to rehearse this in just a minute, because I'm going to ask the graduands to please stand. Graduands? Very good. Now that's a good warm-up. But because all of you are very keen students of the English language, you've noticed that I have been calling you graduands. That's because you haven't quite graduated yet. I'm about to turn you into graduates in a very important part of this ceremony. And to help me, I call upon the chair of the academic board, Ms. Deborah Tyler, to present the authorised record of all conferred graduates for this ceremony and in absentia. Thank you, Deborah. And this is now the important bit, because by virtue of the authority that is vested in me by the Council of Victoria University, I admit the duly authorised graduates to the appropriate awards and to all the rights and all of the privileges of those awards. Congratulations, you are now graduates. Now, because you are graduates and you're capable of very complex tasks, I'm going to ask you to do a little complicated thing. That's the turn around. Turn around, those of you who are down there, turn around, stay standing, face your family and friends, and now you can give them a round of applause to say thank you for all of your support in getting us here today. Thank you, family and friends. Please turn around and resume your seats.
Thank you, Chancellor. I now call upon the Dean of the College of Health and Biomedicine, Professor Karen Dodd.
Chancellor, I'm honoured to present the graduates from the College of Health and Biomedicine. The following graduates have been awarded the Bachelor of Applied Science. Sarah Louise Boycott. Jenny Chung. Lara Joan Clarnett. Amy Gauchi.
I mean, I said you can celebrate. You know? By all means, polite applause, but, you know, these people have worked really hard to get here, and everyone who walks on stage deserves the loudest acclaim possible. And you won't win my Chancellor's Award with that kind of polite hand clapping. So can I please hear how you're going to celebrate? Yeah. Thank you. Professor Dodd, please continue.
Taylor Gobo. Ziliha Hajalu. Monique Jane Harris. Susanna Jelic. Antigone Kremastos. Natasha Linda Lane. Dimka Mamawan. Dylan Ostrichas. Amanda Passarelli. Stephanie Riccardi. Eunice Soriano. Nicole Wright. The following graduates have been awarded the Bachelor of Biomedicine: Crystal Liani de Pasculale. Natalia Gazbavugic. Tuan T. Tang Tuan. Ode Istefo. Eileen Maxoni. Amy May Mooney. Can Veen Nuak Nuan. Is it Natasha Page Sturry? Sturry. Natasha Page Sturry. Asha Tonkin Reeves. The following graduates have been awarded the Bachelor of Health Science. Shay Michelle Harrison. Christine Steele. The following graduates have been awarded the Bachelor of Health Sciences after undertaking the specialisation in Dermal Therapies. Laura Louise Anderson. Shahida Arif. Helen Boris. Julia D'Amico. Alicia Dua. Gemma Di Rocco. Amber Kathleen Ether. Holly Catherine Gardner. Hannah Corey Gifford. Charlotte Haddad. Mandy Ruth Jansen. Chelsea Lauren Jennings. Claudia Castillo. Rita Anna Franca Massimo Giordano. Stephanie McLean. Georgia Michelle Nawatni. Sonia Olson. Christine Patricia Page. Kelly Patterson. Carly Jane Rowe. Agnes Cynthia Rudianto. Jasmine Michelle Solera. Georgina Rose Strawn. Monica Celine Sutiono. Ashley Jade Turvey. Mariana Wubikic. Samantha Joy Wilson. Jessica Natalia Wandani. Madia Zishan. The following graduates have been awarded the Bachelor of Psychological Studies. Daniel Aguirre. Samantha Nicole Alvarez Araguin. Sophia Anatonides. Amy Marie Brooks. Marianne Batagig, who is also a VU staff member. Fernando Daniel Cavalli. Natalie Janet Day. Jordan Jurek. Ola Elsokmani. Halime Elgun. Ashley Danielle Galati. Shantae Kelly Gedult. Nathan James Gilbert. Georgia Judith Gregor. Cassandra Canaan. Nicole Blythe Keeney. Emma Page Kemp. Jack Thomas King. Paris Lily McFadden. Olivia Rose Middleton. Sarah Mullen. Ellen Veronica Muscat. Marie Krista Antonia Mert. Nathan Thomas Olson. Caitlin Philip. Nikki P. Suhuan Katakis. Dragana Radovic. Bethany Russell. Tiffany Rose Ryan. Denny Chevelle Shreya. Jodie Lee Shepherd. Tegan Elise Sherwin. Carla Tarzia. Cheyenne Louise Wolf. Brooke Grace Walker. Taylor Rhiannon Wigney. Harindi We Will Goda Wimala. Ebru Chelsea Yelech. The following graduates have been awarded the Bachelor of Psychological Studies after undertaking the specialisation in Interpersonal and Organisation. Rachel Ashley Connolly. Catherine Papadopoulos. The following graduates have been awarded the Bachelor of Science after undertaking the specialisation in one of the following: Biomedical and Exercise Science, Biomedical Sciences, Clinical Sciences, Nutrition, Food and Health Sciences or Psychology. Danielle Therese Honey. Jaden Cafanellis. Shannon McDowell. Kate Louise Newton. Samantha Kerry Phillips. Maverick Riaz. Cassandra Renee Wilcox. Ellen Adamsevich. Faraz Ag. Mariam Al-Thalibi. Zainab Al-Mahana. Agnes Fairy Dove. Martin Elias. Amine Egun. Fatima Muhammad Yassin. Laura Kate Gadanet. Mohammed Hassan Hadi. Jerusha Avantika Matha. Kristen Renee McSweeney. Deepak Pal Ko Panu. Chris Anthony Matthew Pitapalli. Nivan Ramdiana. Nadine Saifei Eden. Kong Trin. John William Turton. Marko Zivanovic. Peter Louise Antonello. Michaela Lee Bidmaid. David John Broadstock. Adam Chu. Jaden Christopher Dar. Christy Taylor Evans. Rebecca Rose Feeks. Hamish Gleeson. Kyle Lachlan Glover. Cameron Hutton. Tom Daniel McKenna. Philip David William Nash. Matthew Reement. Jackson Samuel Redfern. Timothy Jack Roberts. Fraser James Somerville. Brooke Cassandra Starling. Glenn Strutt. Laura Marie Stewart. Ari John Vandermeer. Millicent Elizabeth White. Taylor Ann Wilcox. Nguyen Pham. Christina Kelly. Rebecca Mikhail. Sahara Mohammed. The following graduates have been awarded the Bachelor of Social Work. Just wait for it, just wait. We're building up here. Nora Al-Hadi. Carly Bennett. Olivia Darcy Bentley. Yeshi Barry. Sean Adam Conlon. Karina Di Marcasa Sepulveda. Nicole D'Souza. Benjamin Ellis. Laura Fullerton. Jacqueline Christie Hartley. Jessica Marie Hopkins. Gillian Elise Horman. India Caitlin Hubbard. Gagandeep Kaur. Daryl King. Tok Lahang Merman Lau. Maren Leslie Lees. Ruby Araldo Lee. Ashley Kate Moore. Shane Melville. Catherine Kim Nguyen. Kawai Man Nok. Catherine Margaret Patton. Nandita Paul. Tituet Noon Fun. Tali Walsh. Lisa Jane Waters. The following graduates have been awarded the Bachelor of Psychological Studies and the Bachelor of Business after undertaking the specialisation in one of the following: Human Resource Management and Management. Joshua Howland Gowesa. Saleen Balukal. The following graduates have been awarded the Bachelor of Science Biotechnology and Bachelor of Psychological Studies. Lachlan Adam Shields. Tatiana Teresa Zogby. The following graduates have been awarded the Bachelor of Psychology Honours. Rama Agun Iguste. Shayla Beshlegic. Georgina J. Laren. Irini Leonaki. James Lindsay Muirt. Daniel Paglialonga. The following graduates have been awarded the Bachelor of Psychological Studies with honours. Isabel Costa. Jacqueline Coughlin. Elaine Cummins. Kimberly Carteras. Amrit Kaur. Merv Kosia. Chris James Waters. The following graduates have been awarded the Bachelor of Science with honours after undertaking the specialisation in one of the following: Biomedical Sciences or Nutrition and Food Sciences. Anna Gazabagovic. Jonathan Edward Escalante. Chamin Sujanta Silva. The following graduates have been awarded the Bachelor of Social Work with honours: Karen June Fitzpatrick. Anton Sherstrand. The following graduate has been awarded the Master of Applied Psychology: Marija Sarpakasnoska. The following graduates have been awarded the Master of Applied Psychology after undertaking the specialisation in one of the following: Community Psychology or Sports Psychology. Carolina Alhaldra Agri. Samuel Peter Keast. Pina Akgun. The following graduates have been awarded the Master of Counselling: Erin Anderson. This is a special one. Madison Peter Morrison, who is also celebrating a birthday today. Cedric Jean-Paul Racoult. The following graduates have been awarded the Master of Health Science after undertaking the specialisation in osteopathy: Ruby Sarah Pritchard. Luke Francis Abels. Catherine Helen Barker. Luke James Bryan. Sarah Jade Cipollone. Laura Joanna Clifford. David Cork. Michael Anthony Lance Crisp. Prashan Dermal. Kevin John Duwal. Leonardo Geraldo Di Giorgio. Sarah Ann Lisa Duggan. Sammy Fard. Jack Thomas Fian, who is our valedictorian. Aaron Michael Fernandez. Emily Jane Finensin. Lewis Goldbaum. Madeleine May Grant. Jonathan Harbis. Matthew John Hardwick. Michael Brett Johnco. Jessica Kazmarek. Brianna Lauren Kerr. Zainab Perez. Grace Elizabeth Knight. Fontaine Adele Laraba. Melissa Ann Layton. Georgia Lauren Lemaitre. Craig Graham Leah. Mitchell Charles Mee. Gaboani Ernest Molili Kao. Jane Moroz. Kirsten Samantha Murray. Rebecca Ann Naylor. Charisse Alofa Naguaka. Matthew Henry O'Neill. Callan Brian Reid. Sarah Ray Slater. Natasha Smith. Kane Ashley Tersinger. April Helen Thuelis. Martin Tran. Christopher Leslie Walker. And Liz Kate Warren. Ben William Weevil. Mark Peter Weir. Lachlan Philip White. Hannah Jean Wilkerson. Melanie Yalpure. Brett Andrew Urisic. The following graduates have been awarded the Master of Psychology after undertaking the specialisation in clinical psychology. Anne-Marie Sydney Hindle. Gemma Ann Stevenson. The following graduates have been awarded the Master of Science. Anshuka Tijana Gajne Meni K. Menthi. Sarah Kate Miller. Shirashan Ray. The following graduate has been awarded the Master of Science with Research. Gagani Uduwelera. Chancellor, the Agrotite degree is awarded to a student who has completed a substantial part of the course at a high level but has passed away before completing the course. The Aggregate Award of Bachelor of Social Work is being conferred posthumously on Cassandra Lee Hearn. Cassandra's Cassandra's family and friends are here today, and Cassandra's mother, Diane, will accept the award on her behalf. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of the graduates from the College of Health and Biomedicine. Chancellor, I call upon Pro-Vice-Chancellor, Researcher and Research Training Professor Warren Payne to present the doctoral candidates.
Chancellor, professional doctoral degrees are conferred upon those who have undertaken a combination of advanced coursework and completed original research, resulting in a significant contribution to knowledge in the relevant professional field. The work generally includes a critical review of the literature, a systematic form of inquiry, and the preparation of a thesis reporting the outcomes of the research. Chancellor, I present to you Sarah Liu, who by reason of a thesis entitled The Impact of Borderline Personality Traits on the Concomitant in Romantic Relationships, an application of the investment model, has satisfied the requirements for admission to the degree of Doctor of Psychology. The relationship commitment is typically predicted by satisfaction, investments, and perceived quality of alternatives. However, Sarah's research demonstrates that elevated borderline personality traits interfere with these associations, especially with respect to perceived quality of alternatives. The research makes a significant contribution to understanding how personality pathology disrupts normal commitment processes, highlighting areas to focus on in therapeutic settings. Sarah's principal supervisor was Dr. Warwick Hosking. Chancellor, Dr. Sarah Liu. Chancellor, I present to you Sandra Nguyen, who by reason of a thesis entitled Comparison of Sleep Attitudes and Beliefs Amongst Older Adult Vietnamese Migrants in Australia with and Without Insomnia, has satisfied the requirements for admission to the degree of Doctor of Psychology. Sandra's doctoral thesis investigated whether there were ethnic differences between Vietnamese migrants and Australian older adults in terms of their beliefs and attitudes about sleep. Members of the Vietnamese group were found to have many more misconceptions about sleep and poorer knowledge about the factors influencing good sleep than their Australian counterparts. The results have implications for psychological therapy for insomnia in the Vietnamese Australian community. Sandra's principal supervisor was Emeritus Professor Dorothy Brooke. Chancellor, Dr. Sandra Nguyen. Chancellor, I present to you Melanie Quinn, who by reason of a thesis entitled Psychosocial Outcomes and Predictors of Distress Amongst Military Spouses, has satisfied the requirements for admission to the degree of Doctor of Psychology. Melanie's research investigated the nature and extent of psychological distress amongst military spouses. Military spouses were found to have high rates of distress and sleep difficulties and were affected by current deployment of their service partner. Help seeking was impeded by deficient access to support, indicating the need for appropriate interventions. Melanie is currently employed as a psychologist at the Lighthouse Foundation. Melanie's principal supervisor was Dr. Carolyn Deans, and her associate supervisor was Dr. Alexia Pavlis. Chancellor, Dr. Melanie Quinn. Chancellor, I present to you Lydia Trepchevska, who by reason of a thesis entitled What's Good for Some is Not Good for Others, a critical inquiry into what constrains and drives wellbeing travel participation in Australia, has satisfied the requirements for admission to the degree of Doctor of Psychology. Lydia examined the predictors of psychological wellbeing, resilience and academic self-efficacy in tertiary students. She found that locus of control, spirituality and perceived stress were predictive of psychological wellbeing, academic self-efficacy and resilience, which in turn were predictive of academic motivation. Lydia's research may inform future research and practice related to the psychological wellbeing of tertiary students. Lydia's principal supervisor was Dr. Warwick Hosking. Chancellor, Dr. Lydia Trebchevska. Chancellor, Doctor of Philosophy degrees are conferred on those who have completed a major program of original research resulting in a significant new contribution to knowledge in the relevant field. The work generally includes a critical review of the literature, a systematic form of inquiry and the preparation of a substantial thesis reporting the outcomes of the research. Chancellor, I present to you Zaineb Ahmed, who by reason of a thesis entitled Endogenous Muscle Proteases Involved in Softening Mechanisms and Release of Bioactive Peptides During Storage of Underutilised Fish Species, has satisfied the requirement for admission to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Zaineb studied the effects of storage conditions on the properties of underutilised Australian fish species to increase their application in food processing and consumption. Her work was sponsored by the Geelong Food Co-Products Cluster, resulting in several reports that provide guidance to national fisheries on how to process these underutilised fish species, enabling them to improve their competitive edge of these companies in the cluster and the industry more generally. Zaineb is currently a Research Associate at Victoria University. Zaineb's principal supervisor was Professor Todor Vasilejic, and her Associate Supervisor was Dr. Osana Donko. Chancellor, Dr. Zaineb Ahmed. Chancellor, I present to you Jessica Danaher, who by reason of a thesis entitled Metabolic Mechanisms of the Fat Mass and Obesity-Associated FTO Gene has satisfied the requirements for admission to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Jessica investigated the relationship between obesity-related genetic variability and metabolism. Her research compared how individuals with different genetic variations of the fat mass and obesity-associated gene responded to nutritional and exercise challenges. Her novel findings demonstrate that exercise can lead to external regulatory modification of this gene in active muscle tissue and adds new knowledge to the gene's regulation. Jessica's principal supervisor was Dr. Christos Stathis, and her associate supervisor was Dr. Matthew Cook. Chancellor, Dr. Jessica Danaher. Chancellor, I present to you Robert Kachan, who by reason of a thesis entitled It's Not All in the Mind, PhD students' experiences, wellbeing and mindfulness, has satisfied the degree for admission to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Internationally, between 40 and 60% of PhD students drop out before finishing their degrees. Rob investigated factors helping or hindering PhD students' academic success and wellbeing. He investigated whether a mindfulness-based program could support them. His research makes a significant contribution to identifying 5 areas fundamental to PhD students' success and satisfaction, as well as how mindfulness positively helps them in this endeavour. Robert's principal supervisor was Professor Adrian Fisher, and his associate supervisor was Dr. Elizabeth Short. Chancellor, Dr. Robert Kachan. Chancellor, I present to you Monica Madyan Ingram, who by reason of a thesis entitled Disability Organisations as Empowering Settings, a case of a locally disability organisation in Yogyakarta Province, Indonesia, has satisfied the requirements for admission to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Monica's research investigated how a local disability organisation in Yogyakarta Province in Indonesia has functioned as an empowering setting for its members. Monica's examiners commented on her work for its deep cultural contextualisation and for the creating insights from the global South, bringing together in a novel way community psychology and disability studies. Monica is a lecturer at Santa Dharma University in Indonesia. Monica's principal supervisor was Associate Professor Christopher Son, and her Associate Supervisor was Professor Adrian Fisher. Chancellor, Dr. Monica Madyan Ingram. Chancellor, I present to you Rachel McQuaid, who by reason of a thesis entitled Chemotherapy-Induced Gastrointestinal Dysfunction and Enteric Neuropathy has satisfied the requirements for admission to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Rachel's study makes an outstanding contribution to understanding the mechanisms underlying the side effects of chemotherapy and proposes new avenues for the development of more efficient treatments. Rachel's work received widespread recognition, having been selected for several media releases, editorial review, and for the cover of an academic journal. Her thesis has resulted in 7 first-author publications in international peer-reviewed journals and several national and international presentations. Rachel's principal supervisor was Associate Professor Kulmira Nugali, and her Associate Supervisor was Professor Joel Bornstein. Chancellor, Dr. Rachel McQuaid. Chancellor, I present to you Kirsten Meyer, who by reason of a thesis entitled Examining the Roles of an Arts-Based Program in Enhancing Care Workers' Capacity to Respond to Children and Young People has satisfied the requirements for admission to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Kirsten examined how an arts-based program enhances the capacity of care workers to respond to young people. Through practice-led inquiry and case study research, she demonstrated how arts processes can help practitioners to reflect upon, transform, and understand their practice. Kirsten is using the findings in her research in her role as a research coordinator for the Creative Arts Therapies Unit at Melbourne University and as a counsellor at the Women's Health West. Kirsten's principal supervisor was Associate Professor Christopher Son, and her associate supervisors were Professor Taku McKenna and Dr. Romana Morda. Chancellor, Dr. Kirsten Meyer. Chancellor, I present to you Amy Quayle, who by reason of a thesis entitled Narrating Oppression, Psychosocial Suffering and Survival Through the Bush Babies Project has satisfied the requirements for the admission to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Amy's research responded to the needs of the Noongar elders in Western Australia. Through the Bush Babies Project, Amy examines the stories of the Noongar elders about oppression, psychosocial suffering and survival. Her study accentuates the effects of colonialism and in the present and on the narration of oppression, suffering and survival. Amy's examiners commended her for her work for its outstanding ethnicality, sensitivity and scholarship. She is the recipient of Victoria University's medal which recognises scholarly excellence. Amy's work as a lecturer in psychology is at Victoria University. Amy's principal supervisor was Associate Professor Christopher Son, and her Associate Supervisor was Dr. Julie van der Nijn. Chancellor, Dr. Amy Quayle. Chancellor, I present to you Nguyen Van Thenedge, who by reason of a thesis entitled Mapping the Thermotolerant Proteases in Ultra-High Temperature, or UHT, treated milk using molecular approaches, has satisfied the requirements for admission to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Comprehensive knowledge of bacterial proteases is essential to improve the quality and shelf life of UHT milk and to benefit commercial milk processing. Nguyen's thesis has extended the current knowledge of the effect of bacterial proteases on UHT milk, and her work has received widespread international recognition and commercial interest. Nguyen works for Victoria University in the College of Engineering and Science. Nguyen's principal supervisor was Professor Todor Vasilevic, and her associate supervisors were Dr. Thomas Jaeger and Professor Enzo Palombo. Chancellor, Dr. Nguyen Van Thenedge. Chancellor, I present to you Alison van der Nijn, who by reason of a thesis entitled What's Good for Some is Not Good for Others, a critical inquiry into what constrains and drives wellbeing travel participation in Australia, has satisfied the requirements for admission to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Wellbeing travel is a fast-growing tourism sector in Australia. However, there are major concerns about the financial viability of the sector and equitable access to wellbeing travel. Alison critically examined why some groups are travelling for wellbeing and why others are not. She argued that travelling for wellbeing is not a random occurrence, but a multifaceted and sometimes deliberate process resulting in the overt or covert exclusion of some from participation. Alison's principal supervisor was Emeritus Professor Adrian Fisher, and her associate supervisor was Dr. Nicole Oak. Chancellor, Dr. Alison van der Nijn. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of doctoral candidates. I now call upon the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Peter Dawkins, AO, to present the University Medalist.
Chancellor, it's with great honour that I now present the University Medal for Excellence. University medals are awarded to those graduates who have achieved consistent academic excellence over the duration of their course. Academic excellence requires in undergraduate studies a grade point average of at least 6 over the duration of the course. Medals are awarded in a number of categories at each onshore graduation round for students in the following areas: 1 for higher degree by research, 1 for postgraduate by coursework, 1 for undergraduate honours, an undergraduate coursework award in each college, and 1 for vocational education. The Medal for Excellence in Honours goes to Hannah Sell. Hannah achieved excellent results throughout her course with a GPA of 7, highest possible score, and an average mark of 91. Unfortunately, Hannah's unable to join us today, and her award will be accepted by Dr. Warwick Hosking from the College of Health and Biomedical Science. The Medal of Excellence in Postgraduate Research goes to Amy Quayle. Amy's research, as you've heard, is highly regarded for its quality, sensitivity and scholarship. Amy has co-authored numerous peer-reviewed journal articles and book chapters in these areas and presented her research at conferences both nationally and internationally. In 2017, Amy was a recipient of an Australian Psychology Society Community Psychology Conference Award. Please congratulate Amy Quayle.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor. I now invite Jack Feehan to speak on behalf of the graduates. Jack graduated today with a Master of Health Science Osteopathy, achieving a grade point average of 7. Jack is highly respected by his fellow students and academic staff. He's just returned from travelling in Cambodia. Now, would you please welcome Jack?
Thank you, Chancellor. Vice-Chancellor, university staff and guests and academics, my fellow graduates, of course, and possibly more importantly, our incredible loved ones who just waited through an hour of applause to clap for one specific person. So, thank you. It's pretty surreal to be standing up here at the end of this sort of long, for me, half-a-decade road of study, and I'm really honoured to speak on behalf of everyone here today. While I was really honoured, I was also slightly terrified by the idea of trying to write a speech which encapsulates the spirit of all the pretty wonderful people in this room. We all have different backgrounds, different places that we came from, different drives, different passions, but that's kind of exciting to me, and that's what makes this room so unbelievably amazing, and I think it should be celebrated. But one thing we do share here is our experience of the last 5 years, or last 3 years, or last 50 years, however long you've been at VU, your education here is what sort of makes us stand together. And while I can only speak to my own experience, I do feel quietly confident that the things I say and the people I thank are likely to reflect the experiences of most of the people here. But before I want to do that, I just want to start with a massive congratulations to everyone here today. It's been a really long journey and a really hard journey, and you've all just been so spectacular, so well done to everyone. Whoever you are and wherever you've come from and whatever you did, from my fellow osteos to the crazy people who did double bachelors, you've done something really special today, and today marks both a beginning and an ending. So it's a beginning of the future, and that's, if you're like me, equal parts exciting and mortally terrifying. But, you know, whatever you do, be confident that going out there, what you have learned here at VU is going to be exciting, and it's going to drive you to great things in the future. But whilst I could continue here for probably the next 20 minutes patting us all on the back, I think that it's probably fallen to me, importantly, to thank a few particularly special people in our degrees. So firstly, the academic and sessional staff who have got us here. Your job seems unbelievably, incomprehensibly large to my eyes, and I have no idea how you do it all. From somehow evading the email tsunami that I've sent on you at a regular sort of basis, to calming my own nerves as I shook my way through a practical exam for 5 years. You're in no small way responsible for the degrees that we earn today, and I hope you're as proud of yourselves as I'm sure you're all proud of your students.